This is Myriam Callot with At 45, the magazine for women 45 plus who want to own aging with spirit and joy. And we are talking today about health and living well. And we're so excited. We're talking to Sara Hodson, who is the president and the CEO of beautiful name, Live Well Exercise Clinic. Sara, how are you doing?
I'm so great. Thank you so much for having me today.
Yes, and we're so happy and excited. What is your elevator pitch or your brand statement, Sara?
Well, Live Well Exercise Clinic is really the ultra private gym for people who want to improve their health. So we really help to champion people who may be nearly fit, not so fit, haven't been fit for a bit.
Yes.
All of those people we can support at Live Well Exercise Clinic to really live their life to the fullest. And so when we get into the nitty gritty of it, we are all about helping people despite their age, their fitness level, and their health status to lead an active life so that ultimately they are living their life to the fullest.
I love this, and I think we should all learn more about this. I hope so. And Sara, how did you get started, and what is your story? Because it's fascinating.
Well, I actually, right out of university, and I had a degree from UBC in kinesiology, and I started working in cardiac rehab. So exercising patients after a heart attack, and over a 12 to 16 week program in the hospital, and getting their heart back to functioning with the goal of kind of being able to maintain their quality of life, right? And there's a lot of research to show that when we exercise after any type of heart intervention, the heart is a muscle, we need to get it stronger, and exercise is beneficial. And yet, when I was in cardiac rehab, I also learned about all of the other ways that exercise benefits our health. And I learned it through, my experience and through continuing to look at the research, but I also learned this through the people who were coming in. The people who also came in who had diabetes, the people who also came in who had arthritis, depression, they were coming after cancer recovery, you name it. What about those individuals was exercise benefiting their other health conditions?
Yes.
And it absolutely was. And so in that time with that cardiac rehab program, we actually started doing education to the community to say, okay, well, you're somebody who has diabetes. Here is how exercise can help you.
Yes.
And at the end of these education sessions, we would have people saying, well, but where can I go? Where can I go to do this? Where can I go to feel comfortable? I don't feel comfortable joining maybe a typical fitness center or even going to the community center. I want to feel safe. I want to feel supported. I want to feel supervised. But I want to go somewhere that has a health focus, right? And I think that when we really look at fitness, we often skew fitness in our mind and in society as something that is performance-based or physique-based. We want to look better, right? Or we want to run faster, or we want to be able to do, 10, 20, 50 push-ups. We look at it as performance or physique. But actually our bodies were made to move for our health. And so at Live Well Exercise Clinic, we've really shifted the focus and said, the physique and the performance parts are just benefits. They're icing on the cake. But at the core of it, it is about our health.
It is.
And so in really identifying in that decade that I worked in cardiac rehab, that people had these health benefits from exercising, but they kept telling me there was nowhere to go. So after a 10 years of experience in working in cardiac rehab in a hospital setting, I quit my job. I cashed in my pension as to what it was at that time, and I started a business, and I called it Live Well Exercise Clinic. And I started my first location in White Rock, British Columbia. And I simply went out to doctors and said, the benefits that your patients have from going to cardiac rehab. What about your patients who need exercise but don't have that support? The people who with diabetes, with high blood pressure, the people before they end up needing to come to cardiac rehab. And I had about 72 doctors put up their hands and say, hey, we're excited about this and this is a big need. And so in 2011, that was really when Live Well Exercise Clinic was born. And again, we are a health-focused gym. We are keeping people safe, supervised. If someone has high blood pressure, we're monitoring the blood pressure to ensure that that person's safe. Because what are the number one reasons why we don't actually participate in fitness? It is that we're scared, we're worried about, am I going to hurt my knee more? Is my back going to get injured more? I can't live my life if those things happen. I'm worried about my blood pressure. I'm worried about my blood sugars. And then the other one is time. I don't have enough time, right?
It's typical.
Yes. And then the third one is, I'm worried about how people are going to perceive me. I'm a bit intimidated. I'm worried about being judged for my level of fitness, the shape of my body, my age, my inability to know the exercises because I've never done them before. These are all of the factors that are stopping people from being active.
Yes.
So these are all of the factors that we chose to overcome at Live Well.
It's fascinating. And I guess you're the only one doing this in Canada too?
We are the only ones doing this in Canada, and in fact, in really looking globally, we know that there's very few people in what really is this new category.
Yes.
It's this bridge between traditional fitness and healthcare.
Yes.
But it is the future of fitness.
I
This
agree.
is absolutely, especially coming out of this pandemic, this is exactly what people need. We have never thought about health more than we have these last 2 years.
You're absolutely right about this. And I hope that more people are going to be aware of this and find you. And Sarah, what is the most rewarding thing about what you do and how does it make you feel? Because Sarah, what you're describing to me right now is like, we need this every day. People have to listen to it. They have to find you where we, about you and your company franchise.
So, we, Live Well Exercise Clinic, we are what we would call medical fitness.
Yes.
Okay, so again, it's health-focused fitness. And we are a fitness franchise. And so we decided about 5 years ago to franchise, ultimately so that people could find the same joy that I was finding in this business. And we have 3 core values that we operate within at Live Well. And the first one is we champion potential. And that is championing the potential in each and every one of our members, in each and every one of our staff, and in each and every one of our franchise owners.
Yes.
But it's ultimately so that we can find joy. And this truly is a purpose-led business. And when we look at business, especially in this day and age, people want to combine the ability for profit with purpose.
Yes.
And Live Well Exercise Clinic offers that exact business opportunity for people. And that's why when we kind of muttered the words that we were franchising, it was like people came in and they wanted this concept to take back to their own communities.
Yes.
And the most rewarding part of that is, and especially over the last 2 years where there have been challenging times.
Yes.
It has been walking inside the gym space, speaking to our members and hearing their stories of overcoming, I was worried about my health. I sat at home and I was, so worried that I was going to get COVID, but I knew I needed to stay active for my own immunity, for my mental health.
Yes.
It's hearing people say, I got off my 3 times a day insulin. I no longer have to take blood pressure medication. I'm off those depression pills. But more so, it's people saying, I'm living my life to the fullest.
Yes.
I'm getting back to my golf game and I'm hanging out with my buddies again. I'm able to keep up with my grandkids and get down on the floor. I'm looking forward to travels and I've booked a trip and I know I have the confidence that I can travel and that I can do that I can keep up with it. And ultimately, we exercise and we're active again so we can live our life to the fullest.
Yes.
So hearing from our members all of the amazing and phenomenal ways that they are achieving that truly is the most rewarding part of this. And I have the privilege of hearing that every single day.
And I went on your website. I was absolutely so happy to see this because what you describe, we have so many people are telling, thanks to you, they don't have to take all of these pills like they use. They can enjoy the grandchild. They can do exactly what you described. You have a life again. And you it's like rebirth. They are now capable to do all this, thanks to you.
Yeah. It reminds me of a gentleman who I was just speaking with, who shared with me that his wife was, she used to go to art classes, but then her health started to deteriorate and she wasn't sleeping well, and that she stopped going to those art classes. And that was a huge disconnection for her from her, from her social community. And then she started exercising at Live Well. And it was interesting because this gentleman had thanked us for getting his wife back to art class.
Yes.
And I thought, what an interesting appreciation for an exercise facility for getting his wife back to art. And it was because she now was sleeping better.
Yes.
She had more energy. She had more confidence.
Yes.
And she thought that she would never return to her art class before, which brought her so much joy.
Yes.
But she was now able to, because it was okay for her to go out in the evening. She had the confidence, she had the energy, she had the spirit in her to go and do that. And she was engaging again with this group of people who were her friends, her community, and a huge component of our health that we often don't consider is our social health, our connectedness to other humans.
Yes.
And when we can create more connectedness, we in fact become healthier individuals.
I totally agree. As soon as something goes wrong with your health, mostly a lot of your friends, what you think they are going to surround you and support you, they don't make the time. And you are losing all of this beautiful time and the life with your family.
Yeah.
So what you're doing is absolutely it's no word, it's more than, it's like, I hope with this more and more people are going to be aware and to fund you and to fund all and to knock the franchise, say, please, and it's customized program too.
Yes.
Each one, every time you see somebody, they have to they follow with your professional educators and surrounded. Yes.
Yeah, and that was a really neat component, that when we were looking at, what does the research say about fitness, and then what does it say about our human condition? Because it's one thing to look at the research, but it also has to work for us as humans, right?
Yes.
And so we really knew that everyone has to have a customized plan to themselves.
Yes.
And ultimately, it has to be fit for our health. It has to take into effect our medical history, the medications we're on, and what are our goals as an individual.
Yes.
How is our body working right now? What movements feel good and what movements don't feel good?
Yes.
And so creating a custom program for each one of our members, while also keeping that social connectedness, so keeping our members within a group.
Yes.
So our members are able to come to Live Well and exercise within a group, but everybody's doing their own individualized program. But the energy, the support, the camaraderie, the community, and ultimately the joy that comes out of that is what keeps us coming back.
Exactly.
Right?
You fulfill them. Yes. Now, Sarah, do you listen to some postcard, something special that inspire you with your business?
I remember several years ago, back when I was traveling a lot, and I listened about Sara Blakely and when she started Spanx. And, Sara Blakely is someone who I can relate to in many ways because she happens to share the same first name as me. She happens to have 4 children, and so do I. And she's an entrepreneur who really started a new category, right? And that is what I am trying to forge ahead. And so it inspires me when I see the success of someone like Sara Blakely, even though a different business and a different business model.
Yes.
But I see the things that she had to do in the early days. And I remember specifically hearing a story about how she drew on her personal network to really, really grow her business in the early days. And she needed to prove to them that if they put Spanx on their shelves, that it would sell out and that they needed to order more. And so what she did was that she got them to take this first order, and she sent all of her friends and family out to go and buy Spanx at these department stores and to sell them out of the product. How we actually, again, use all of the connections in our life, the people who showed up for me in the early days at Live Well and supported me and made sure that my business was a success, were my parents.
Yes.
And my family members and people in the community who knew me, right?
Yes.
Because when we're building a business, it's about know, like, trust.
Yes.
And who are the people who already trust you? And then who are the
Yes.
people
Yes.
who already like you?
Yes.
And then who are the people who know you? And if you work in those tiers, that's ultimately how you build a business based on true loyalty, trust, but
Yes.
meeting the need of your consumer.
Yes. That's beautiful. Yes. And Sarah, what is a piece of learning that has stood the test of time for you?
For me, it's that there's never a bad idea until it's proven to be a bad idea.
Yes.
Right? Everything that we can consider is a good idea. And there's no magic recipe that oftentimes we are, I think, approaching business as, once I find that magic wand that's going to sweep across my business and help it grow astronomically, I'm waiting for that moment.
Yes.
When ultimately what we're doing is we're trying different things.
Yes.
And we're determining that those things didn't work, so we're going to put those to the side, and these things did work. And we're going to continue until we find more and more and more more things that did work, right?
Yes.
And so I think that I know that we can kind of talk about the concept as there is no bad idea, but I think it's more that all ideas are good ideas. All ideas are worth pursuing as long as they connect to your core values for you and your business.
Yes.
And you put in a measurable effort to them, and you can identify how those are going to actually help to form and grow your business moving forward.
And Sarah, do you have, especially with what you are doing right now since 2011, a success story that makes you proud? Because I'm sure there's especially one of your, I would say, patient, customer, member, that you're, something that you remember that stick to you, man.
Yeah, I think of the middle-aged mom who, she had children a little bit later in life, and she came to live well at a time where she was struggling with energy, sleep. Her health wasn't in crisis.
Yes.
And I think that as women, sometimes we wait for our health to be in crisis till we do anything.
Yes.
But I think it's so good for us to identify just, hey, there's some things that are off here. How can I take control now? Right? And so she was able to join Live Well, and she started out very, very slow. And, the biggest impacts that she had in the beginning were improving her sleep. So it's interesting because in the first 30 days after we start exercising, the biggest impact that we have in our health is our sleep. It's our quality of sleep.
Yes.
So it's not necessarily our quantity of sleep. If we're only sleeping 4 or 5 hours, we're not all of a sudden magically going to get 8 hours.
Yes.
But it's our quality of sleep.
Yes.
And when we get better quality of sleep, it changes who we are.
And
right?
the energy,
Yes.
and your life,
Yeah.
and your happiness.
Exactly. So all of a sudden she started to have that energy and that happiness and could contribute back and build her confidence up. And ultimately, this woman started walking, and she was coming to her Live Well sessions twice a week, walking on the other days, slowly building it up. The key is there is no success story that is an overnight success story.
Yes.
It takes days and weeks and months and years.
It's true.
And years later, this lady was able to walk a marathon as something that she actually enjoyed doing. Now, a marathon is very, very hard to walk, right? People think, oh, well, you walked a marathon, you didn't run it.
No.
Well, you can run a marathon in, optionally about 4 hours. Walking a marathon takes about 8 hours. It's grueling, and it's very difficult, and it's very mental. You have to be very, very mentally strong. And so I think of all of these types of women who have come to Live Well. Predominantly, what I think is the biggest success story, and I could give you hundreds and hundreds of health stories, but I think the biggest success story is every woman who decides to put themselves first.
Yes.
That is the biggest success story.
And that's not easy, because a lot of women, especially with a family,
Yes.
they are going to put themselves at the last.
Yes.
It's exactly, and we are always going to say another time, everybody else before.
Yes.
Yes. This is true, and it's after the perseverance to carry on.
Yes.
And for the environment that you are bringing to them is like a new life again, and take care of them.
Yes. Yeah.
And Sarah, what are some recommendations you can start for a woman who would like to start with? What do you like to say?
Yeah, I think that interestingly, many people ask me around what kind of exercise should I start with? And what's the best workout that I should do?
Yes.
And again, success is not an overnight thing. It is days and weeks and months and years put together.
Yes.
And I think that what we don't recognize about, especially embarking on being more active in taking care of our health, is that it all starts with our mindset.
Yes.
And it all starts with the ability for us to give ourselves permission that it's okay to focus on ourselves. And as women, we tend not to actually permit ourselves to take care of ourselves. We guilt ourselves into that we have to take care of everybody else.
Yes.
And it's interesting because when we actually look at fitness as a gift to ourselves, we can maybe change the way that we think about it. So for most of us women, we can maybe relate to, if we were to go to the spa, it's more unlikely that we would book ourselves into the spa and spend a day there and pay for it at the end of the day. We would procrastinate in doing that, or likely we would just not do that for ourselves. But the moment we're given a gift card for the spa, we phone up right away and we book in that appointment and we book in our spa appointment. Why? Because someone gave us permission that it was okay for us to take care of ourselves.
Absolutely.
And I think that as women, we have to look in the mirror and say, I need to give myself that gift card. I need to give myself the permission that my health is something that is worth a gift in my life, because the gift that it gives you in your life is the gift it gives to everyone around you, right? And that's where we here at Live Well, we get the emails from the husbands, the fathers, the daughters, the sons saying, thank you so much for the impact you have put in on this woman in my life. Daughter saying thank you for this because my mom this has changed who she is, Husband saying thank you because my wife now is able to do these things and now together we are rejuvenating our lives.
Exactly.
And so, but it all starts with our mindset of saying, not even I am worth it, because for many of us, we do feel that sense of worth. And if we don't, exercise is something that actually helps to build that worth within us.
Totally.
But it's about recognizing that this is a gift that is not deserved. It is a gift that is our right as women to take care of our health. So that is the best advice that I would say, is to just change our mindset and to say, I am worth it, and I have the right to give this gift to myself.
Yes, and make an appointment with yourself. Like we do for everything. To put on your calendar. It's my time. It's me today.
Yeah. And that's been a huge success for us at Live Well Exercise Clinic, is that all of our members have appointments. And we invite anyone who is saying, well, what is Live Well Exercise Clinic? I don't really exactly understand. And as I said, in a new category, it is hard for people to understand exactly what we do. And that's where we just say, we invite people to book a guest session with us. People get to actually come in for a free session. It's 1 hour long. We give them a full workout plan, and they can walk away with that workout plan. Or they can choose to continue that workout plan at Live Well Exercise Clinic. But the best way to experience a premium product is to actually come and experience it for yourself.
And I cannot believe it, the membership. It's absolutely the price of 1 hour to deal in a normal gym, when I say, with a personal trainer. And you're offering that kind of price for the full month. With all your medical and specialist people around you. This is absolutely phenomenal.
We really wanted to come to a price point that we thought would match most people.
Yes.
And so to offer our sessions at around the $25 an hour mark,
Yes.
you know, is really comparable to many other fitness applications, but it's much cheaper also than personal training
Yes.
or even seeing other allied healthcare professionals. We can often be a support to those in people's lives, but at $25 a session, I think it's very approachable for people to commit to.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And Sarah, how can we find, or people can find you on social media, on your website? Could you give us more information, please?
Yeah, so we're on Facebook and on Instagram, but going to our website, livewellclinic.ca, is the best way for people to really explore, watch videos, understand, and that is where people can book their guest session to again come and experience what we have at LiveWell for themselves.
Yes, and I love when I came here for my first time. I love the energy, so vibrant, the colors. You feel good as soon as you open the door.
Yeah,
You really selected the right colors that work with your spirit as well.
Thank you.
So, thank you so much, Sarah.
Yeah,
Really
thank you.
appreciate it. And I hope that more and more people are going to realize how important, especially women, to stop and open the door to say, it's my time.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yes.